Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to support a custom language which is not present by default in Keycloak. So suppose I want to support a language called Tibetan which is not present in Keycloak by default. So I will show you that. Also suppose Keycloak already supports French, okay, and I want to internationalize my text for login screen. How to do that as well I will show you in this particular video. So if you haven't watched my previous video on how to customize login screen and forgot password, make sure you watch that video because that is very important. Because most probably you are customizing the login screen or reset password or some other screen, and then you want to support the language of your choice. That's why maybe most probably you are watching this video. So let's get started. So first thing what you will have to do is you will have to go to this Keycloak GitHub repo. Now we won't be changing any code inside this Keycloak GitHub repo, but it's essential you download this repo because I want to show you some things in this particular repo. Now suppose I want to customize the login screen. Okay, now you can't just write any name for your login screen. You have to follow some standard which Keycloak has already set. So here you can see inside VS Code I have already opened the repo which I have downloaded it from Keycloak GitHub. Now it's important you download it from Keycloak GitHub because by the time you watch video the name might have changed, so it better be careful. So if you open this you will see a lot of files. All you will have to do is just go to the themes folder. Inside that open this src main. Inside that go to resources, go to themes, and here you will see this login. Now it depends on what you want to modify. I'm just concentrating on this login.ftl file. So this name is very important, but you can pick whatever file you want, so it's up to you. So I'll just open this login.ftl. so we'll have to create this particular file, okay, with this particular name. So what I had done is that I have just created a folder called Keycloak frontend. You can name it whatever you feel like, but inside that firstly I have created this docker file because I want to make use of docker. So I'm first getting Keycloak whatever is the latest version, then we are copying the themes. So this is the original path in Keycloak where our themes should modify the existing theme which is present in Keycloak. Now some of you might be having a question that I'm just modifying the login screen, right? The rest of the screens like forgot password, resets password, or some other screen will remain the same which Keycloak provides by default. Like Keycloak is smart enough to understand that okay, if I am not providing it reset password, forgot password screen, it will just take whatever was present originally. If I am just providing the login screen, customize screen, login customize screen, then it will only take that particular login screen. Okay, and here I'm adding this env, and this is how we run it. Okay, then this is our docker compose command. So here this is just the image name, we are referencing our docker file. This is the container name, here is our port, these are our password which we have to use. And this mailhog thing you can ignore it for now, I want to make a separate video about this. Then inside our main folder I have just created this themes, my custom theme, and login, because that's what we are using, right? Themes, my custom theme. So I have just, and the folder name should be login, but if you as you refer over here you can see that the folder name is login, right, in the main Keycloak GitHub repo. That's why you have to write login over here. So then inside that we first have to create this theme.properties file. So first we have to include this parent base, import common Keycloak, then styles css. I'm not really using this, I have just written inline styles, but if you want you can use it. Important thing is you have to write this internationalization enabled equal to true, and here you will have to pass locales on what all language you want to support. So I want to support English, I want to support French, which are by default present inside Keycloak, but this bo which you see is for Tibetan language, which is not part of Keycloak. Okay, so we have to provide the translation for it, and by default local language should be English. Okay, now if you see I have created this login.ftl. So I have just customized this code. I won't go into the details, but this is normal HTML file. Simply pause the video wherever you feel like, and these are all the inline styles which I have written. So I'll simply scroll through this. Feel free to change the style. This is our media query, and here I have just added some styles depending. Now here if you want to refer an image inside your HTML, you will have to create a folder called resources. Inside that, create a folder called img, and you can drag and drop your images inside that. So to reference it, you have to write url.resources path. Here the folder name is resources, but while referencing over here, you have to write resources path /img folder / your image name. Okay, that's what I have done. And here I have just passing this login message, which I have defined it inside our message. So to provide translation for all languages, you have to create a messages folder. So first I'll go through English. So for English, it is messages_en.property. So whatever is the language code. So and I have provided translation for all the text which I have. Okay, so this is for English. Now same thing you have to provide for French as well. So same thing, the key remains the same, the value changes to whatever it is called in French. I have just used Google Translate for this, so sorry if some of this translation is wrong. And here I have done the same thing for Tibetan as well. Now Tibetan is not directly supported by Keycloak, but I have provided it. And Keycloak is smart enough to understand, okay, the user wants Tibetan as well, so it will provide that particular option once we run it via Docker. Okay, then here if you see login.ftl, this is all the code. So here we are just referencing the login text, here we are referencing the welcome text, so we are just referencing the key. This is the login action, which is very important. This I have just copied it from the main Keycloak GitHub repo. So if you go to this login.ftl file, you will see this. If you go to the form action, you will see this particular url.login action, and same name and ID is also important. This I have just copied it from the main Keycloak GitHub repo as well. Then this is our form group, this is our form actions as well. And here I'm just basically navigating. I have created this forgot password, and I'm basically navigating to the forgot password screen. So it's up to you how you want to do it. And here is our login button, and here just don't have an account. Okay, so yeah, that's it. The important part is you will have to create this messages folder, and inside that you will have to create all the files for which you want to provide the equivalent translation. In case if you are confused with the language code, if you go over here inside the messages, you can see it is providing the English translation, but if you want for different translation, you can do that as well. So now I will just run our command. So one more thing which I want to tell you guys is I will run docker compose upright, but if you make some changes inside your code, any small bit of changes, you will have to delete the container as well as the image from this Docker desktop app. Otherwise it will be cached and your new changes won't be reflected. I don't know how to do hot reload and hot restart with Docker. That's why I'm not really using it over here. So I will just run docker compose up. Now this will take a little bit of time to get configured, so yeah, just be patient. Once that is done, we will just go to localhost /8080. By default it will show the default login screen which is present for Keycloak, but once we enter the admin credentials, we can just go to the UI and customize the login screen, as well as we can do the same thing for language translation as well. I will show you in a bit. Let's wait for this to get completed. In the meantime, if you want, I have done it for reset password as well. So if you want the code, I'll just simply scroll through this. Feel free to copy it if you want to, but here I'm not using the I have hard coded the text. I am not using the translation from our messages _en.properties. So I'll just show you that in a bit as well. So these are all the CSS which I have, and if you see over here, I have just hard coded the text. Yeah, so just being lazy over here. But if you want, just like I have done it for login.ftl, like how we have done something like this, you can do the same thing for login reset password as well. So let's just wait for this to complete. Again, this will take little bit of time, so be patient. Okay, so this is done, like running the server in development mode. That means it is done. Now I can go to my browser. I can hit localhost colon 8080 and it will show me our console screen. The default password is admin username and password, so I'll just enter that. And now I can go to realm settings. I can go to login. I will just enable this. Then I can go to themes. I will select my custom theme for my login theme. Okay, I'll just click on save. Then you will have to go to localization. Here enable this internationalization, and here you can see supported locales is English only, but I can make it to French because that's what we are supporting. And if you scroll down, here you can see it is also showing Tibetan. By default it won't show Tibetan. If you just run a Docker container, by default it won't show it to you. So I'll just select that as well and I'll click on save. Okay, now I will also change the default language. First I'll show it to you in English, then let's see. So I'll just click on sign out, and here you can see this is my custom screen. I will just enter the credential. I'll click on login. So it was in English. I will just change it to Tibetan. Click on save. I'll again click on sign out, and I wonder why is it not showing it Tibetan. Well, let me just try French. I'll just click on sign out. Why is this not working? Okay, let me just try it in some different tab. Okay, let me sign out. Okay, or maybe I think we need to change it inside our default locale. This was working fine. I'm not sure what I'm missing. So what if I change this to BO? Let's see. Now given that I have made some changes, I will just have to delete all this. Just go to container, delete it, go to images, delete it. I will just run this again, docker compose up. Let's see whether this works or not. Okay, so the server is running now. I will just go to localhost again. Okay, by default it will show something like this, admin. Okay, then I can just enable internationalization. I'll select French. I'll select Tibetan as well. By default it is Tibetan. Click save. I'll go to themes, and here I will just enable it everywhere. So I'll just select Keycloak 3, Keycloak 2. Here I'll just select Keycloak. Go to login. I'll just enable this as well. Okay, now just close all this, just click on sign out. Why? Themes, keys, events, localization. Right guys, so I have found the issue is mostly from Keycloak. So what I'll do is I'll just go to my container. I want to show it from the very start. There have been no changes in my code. I will just delete this as well. And now what I'll do is I'll just run docker compose up, let it pull all the things which it wants. Okay, so our server is now running. All I will do is I'll just refresh this. This is from my old thing. Okay, so it will now remove all the changes which I had previously. I'll just log in via admin. I'll click on sign in. Okay, then again, like I told you, this is a Keycloak issue. I'll go to localization. I'll just enable it. I will add all the languages which I want, which I have added inside our code, the French one as well as the Tibetan one. Okay, I'll click on save. Do not change the default locale. Go to themes, select the default theme is keycloak.v2 at least for now. I'll just click on save. Then I will just go to general as well, sorry, no, login. I'll just enable this just for the sake of it. Okay, I haven't applied my custom theme yet. Now what I'll do, I'll again go back to localization. I'll change the language to French. I'll click on save. Again, I have not applied my custom theme. I'll just click on sign out, and here you can see it is giving me the drop down. If I select French, it is displaying French. It won't work for Tibetan. It is still displaying in English because Tibetan is not a default language, right? And this is the default Keycloak UI, which doesn't know how to handle Tibetan language. So what I'll do, I'll just select French. Okay, I'll just click on if you want French, you can just sign in. Now what I'll do, I'll go to themes, and now I will select my custom theme. If I click on save now I will just sign out, and here you can see the French was applied. So this is actually French. Okay, now I will just enter my credential. I'll click on sign in again. Now what I'll do again, now for Tibetan again, I'll change it back to keycloak.v2. I will click on sign. Okay, sorry, wait, localization, default language Tibetan. I'll just click on save over here again, and I'll click on sign out. Okay, so here again it won't work for Tibetan because it doesn't know how to handle it. Now what I'll do again, I will just log in, and I will go to themes, and if I go to my custom theme, I'll click on save, and I'll just click on sign out again, and here you can see Tibetan was applied. So this feels more like a Keycloak bug to me, then again I didn't change this particular thing to Tibetan because I have hard coded it, but hopefully you got the point. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.